everyone. As it gets closer to the Lord's coming, I wanted to share a few things because I know there's probably not one listener right now that does not have somebody that is lost in the dark, backslidden, or lukewarm. And as it becomes more and more evident that this is the season that we're in to go home, I know more people are going to begin to worry about their loved ones. They're going to begin to worry about their loved ones. They're going to begin to panic a little bit. So I just wanted to kind of share a few things with you that the Lord had shared with me. That's my dog. She's lizard hunting. The Lord shared a few things with me over the past, probably like 6 months, that have kind of helped me see things more clearly. So one of the things that he did was explain to me that I am not in control. That was the first thing that he showed me. I'm not in control of anything. That was hard for me to grasp because I thought, well, this is my husband and, he loves me and he's going to listen to me. So the Lord showed me that I'm not in control of the timing. I'm not in control of anything. As a matter of fact, one of the very first words that I heard the Lord say, that I had heard him speak when he first came to me back in 2011 when he woke me up. But in October of 2012, I was struggling with my husband, who is a non-believer. I was struggling with some things, and the Lord said very clearly to me one day, He has heard my gospel, and He has rejected it. This battle is mine, it is not yours. And when He said that to me, He released me from something that was holding me back. He released me from something that was making me think and feel that I had to stay on him, that I had to badger him, that I had to beat him up and knock him down and spoon feed him the Word of God and try to wake him up. There was a peace that came over me, and after that, I was able to let go and let God handle it. And I think I was able to do that because the Lord gave me a peace. The same thing with my youngest daughter. She's 19, and she backslid for a while, and I had a really difficult time dealing with that, and I was going after her very, very hard. I was afraid, which fear is not from God, it's from the enemy. So the enemy used that to drive me to not trust the Lord. So finally, after the Lord dealing a little bit harshly with me, which I needed that because I wasn't listening to the Lord, I wasn't trusting Him, I didn't have faith, I was doubting Him, I wasn't in full belief that He could get it under control. I thought that I had to do it. So the Lord removed me from both at different times, and actually for a couple months both of them were removed from my life until I got the hint, until I started listening to the Lord. And then He let them back in my life, but my daughter didn't want anything to do with me for a while. So the Lord kept leading me to Jeremiah 31 verses 16 and 17, and I'm paraphrasing here, but it basically says to refrain your eyes from weeping, that I see what you're doing, and you shall be rewarded for the things that you're doing, and your children will come back to their borders. So He kept telling me that over and over and over, And finally, when I let go and just let God do it, because I just got to the point where I was so tired, I couldn't do it anymore. And so one day I went in my prayer closet and I said, all right, Lord, I can't do this anymore, and I can't worry about this anymore, and I'm going to give it to you. So I did, and when I moved out of the way, he was able to work in my daughter's life, and he was able to show her things and to bring her back. And she backslid for about a year, and then he brought her back. And she rededicated her life, and she's walking stronger with him now than she was the first time she woke up. So me being in the picture, I was actually hurting her walk. I was hurting her coming to him because I was getting in the way. I wasn't helping him. I thought I was, but I was actually limiting his ability to work in her life. So when I moved away from the situation and trusted in God, he brought her back. So he's still working in my husband's life, and I'm no longer speaking negative things about my husband's relationship with the Lord. I speak only positive things now, and I know that the Lord's working on him. I see it. The Lord has given me a word, and he told me that my husband will be in the kingdom, and that preparations are being made, and I just need to rest in him. And that's what I'm doing. I'm resting in the Lord now. I'm trusting the Lord. I do not shove things down his throat anymore. I don't feel like I need to constantly make him aware of things. I know the Lord is doing that, and I know the Lord knows him more than I do, and I know that the Lord loves him more than I do, and I trust the Lord with all my heart. I've given my marriage to the Lord, and I trust the Lord. The Bible says that if I do what I'm supposed to do, and I'm righteous, and I follow the Lord, and I live for the Lord, that he will not only save me, but he'll save my entire household. And they don't all have to live under the same roof. It's my household. It's my children. It's my family. And one by one, he is waking every single member up in my family. And they're all moving at different spots and different paces, and they have different levels of their relationship with the Lord, and it is amazing to watch each and every one of them grow. So what I have been told to do is to shine the light. I have been told to let Christ love them through me. I have been told to give him the reins. I have been told to allow him to do the teaching, the guiding, the correcting, not me. When I feel him move on me and he gives me something to say, and it might not even have his name in it, but it is something he wants me to say at a time that he has opened their ears to hear it, then I do that. But the one thing that the enemy did to me for a long time was to get in my head and to tell me, you know time is here. You know you're on borrowed time. You know that the Lord is coming back, and you just need to go forward with this and stuff. You know, they're going to miss this, and they're going to miss him calling them home, and they're going to lose their heads, and they're going to do this, and they're going to do that. And he maximized that fear that I had for my family. He maximized it like crazy. And I acted on it out of stupidity and out of lack of trust and faith in the Lord. I acted on it. And I delayed things from happening. I put the Lord in a box and limited him from working in their lives. And I don't do that anymore. I don't do that anymore. I realize, and the Lord's told me, that I need to work out my own salvation with fear and trembling. I need to allow him to do what he needs to do, and that I cannot take their walk. I cannot take one person's walk. I cannot take my husband's walk, my children's walk, my mother's walk, my father's walk, my brother's walk. I can't take any of their walks. They have to take those walks, and they are. Everyone's walking at a different pace, walking at a different speed, and at a different level, and a different knowledge, understanding, and wisdom with him, but they are taking walks with him. So I just want to encourage you that no matter who it is in your life that does not know the Lord, no matter who it is that is backslidden in the dark or fighting the Lord right now, I want you to know that the Lord loves them more than you do. I want you to know that no matter what happens, he's with them and he's got this under control. And I want you to trust him and have faith in what he's going to do in their life. Timing is everything. The Lord's timing is perfect. And if we try to spoon feed somebody something before the Lord has called them forward, before the Lord has worked on them, before the Lord has opened the door for them to be able to hear, if you try to push things and rush things, you're going to slow it down. You need to trust His timing because it is perfect and He works all things out. My dog. He works all things out for those who love Him in His timing, and it's perfect. So rest in that, and also understand that not everybody is called to do the same thing. Not everybody has the same walk, plan, or purpose. So just because you were called to do what you're doing right now does not mean that your child or your spouse or your parent or your sibling or anyone else in your life has been called to do the same thing. They have not been called to wake up at the same time. They have not been called to hear His voice at the same time. Only when the Father calls them forward to Jesus Christ can they come. He cannot call them. They will not come to the Lord before the Father calls them forward. You will not speed that up. You will not bring them to the Lord. No matter how hard you try, no matter what you do, His timing is perfect. So trust Him. Give your cares and your worries to the Lord. I promise you that He hears you, and I promise you that He's going to listen to you. I promise you that He loves them more than you do, and I promise you that He wants them in the kingdom more than you do. So the best thing that you can do for them is pray for them. The same thing with a Christian that is backslid, and someone in your life that you loved is backslid. Don't panic. Trust the Lord. Trust Him with everything. Give your concerns, your cares, and your worries to Him, and I promise you that He will hear you and that He will work everything out when the timing is right. So, when you feel like you have to take things on your own, when you feel like you have to be the one to make them see, you have to be the one to make them wake up, you have to be the one to show them the truth, you are undermining Jesus. You're undermining His power and His authority. You're undermining His ability to bring them. Who woke you up? Wasn't it the Lord? Wasn't it the Lord when He came and tapped on your heart and He said, "Come and sup with me. Let me in. Let me love you. Let me show you"? It was Him. It might have been your friend or a sibling or somebody else that came in and planted the seed. But who made it grow? It wasn't you. The Lord has everything under control. Trust Him. Trust in the Lord. Lean not on your own understanding. So, whoever it is, whatever the situation is, give it to the Lord and trust Him to work miracles for you. When you don't limit Him and when you allow Him to do His work, He's going to work miracles for you. You'll see it. But you're not going to see it until the time is right. And you're not going to see it if you try to push it forward. Just think of it this way. While you're waiting, you're being taught something. You're being taught patience. You're being taught faith. You're being taught to trust in the Lord. So, everyone is growing at different spots. And when you're being taught those things, they're being taught to hear His voice. They're being taught to come towards Him. And He's going to do it. So just rest in that and trust Him. I know without a shadow of a doubt that those people that I love and I have prayed for and that I want to be in the kingdom with Him, I know they're going to be there. His promises are true, and He's not going to let you down. You're not going to stand before the throne and you're going to say, "Lord, where is so-and-so?" He's not going to look at you and say, "I'm sorry, sweetheart, but I really didn't want him in my kingdom. I really didn't want her with us." Or, she was a lost cause. Sorry, but it just wasn't in the cards. He's not going to say that to you. He wants to give you the desires of your heart. He wants to give you the things that you want. So rest in Him. Rest in Him and know that the people you're praying for, He hears your prayers and He's working on them. And sometimes He has to go ahead of them to make the path straight, to prepare something, to put something in their life sometimes to wake them up. And if something has to happen in their life for them to wake up, then so be it. So be it. Whatever has to happen to them here in this world, in this physical realm, whatever has to happen to them to wake them up, let it happen. If it's something disastrous, if it's something catastrophic, if it is something that shakes them to their very core, and in some cases, guys, it may take the tribulation to do that. It may. Don't fear that, though, because that's